Another day, another day. It's Thursday, March 4th. I'm happy to be here. 4:21 exact Pacific time on the West Coast where I'm at. It's 6:21 p.m. Central time where you guys are at. Majority of you guys are at. And it is 7:21 Eastern time where Ray Wills is at. Ray Wills, when you join us, you are here. How are you today, Cuzzo? Thank you. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm happy to be here. We are streaming live on YouTube and the Let's Talk About It page, exclusively on Facebook. Let me just get started real quick and introduce my panel mates. My brother Joe Cross down in Georgia. What's going on, my brother?
My brothers and sisters and distinguished guests. I'm doing just fine, man. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Glad to be back for another week.
Man, good to see you, Joe Cross. Where can they follow you on IG, Twitter, and your email?
At Joe Andre Online, everything.
There it is. And what you drinking on tonight, my brother?
Nothing tonight, my brother. Just a little water. Got a little work to put in tonight. And just keeping it focused.
There it is.
I think you froze, Sam.
Are we there?
We in there.
Okay. I'm sorry. Let me pull this. There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Ray Wills, New York. How are you today, sir?
Doing all right, Cuzzo. Doing all right. It's been an interesting couple of minutes. We are having a bit of a technical difficulties with Brother Milton, but we're still trying to get them together.
Yeah, it looked like we got him in.
There he is. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Diamond Thomas from Detroit, Michigan, down in Huntsville, Alabama. How are you today, sis?
Can Can you see me, Ray?
Yes, sir, we can. We here. We got you.
We got you, Mr. Milton. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second.
Oh my Lord God!
I'm gonna get to you in 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, Mr. Milton.
Finally.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ray Wills, what you drinking on, sir?
Just a little sparkling water tonight, cause
all right, tell them where they can find you. Your social.
Wills TV on Instagram, Ray Wills on Twitter. Same at all email addresses.
Awesome. Candace Costello, my sister, Chicago, Illinois. What's going on, sis?
Nothing much. Glad to be here. How are you guys?
We are good. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on IG at C Nicole and on Twitter at Miss Union Thug.
And what are you drinking on tonight?
My former intern dropped me off some Boom Boom Syrah tonight. Never tried it. We'll try it.
There it is. Our resident wine drinker is not on the show tonight. So hopefully we'll see Kim Dolman next week. Mr. Aldo Anderson, Huntsville, Alabama. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hello to our distinguished guests. You ladies are beautiful. Everything's good. I love my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Where can they find you on online?
Instagram, Black Man Angry. That's on Twitter. I'm sorry. I got so many. They're at the bottom of the screen, man. Y'all just got to read them, man. It's just a lot.
What you drinking on tonight? I know you got another engagement like you always do.
Man, listen, you know, I hydrate, man. I'm on some high quality H2O alkaline water, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
And did we got everybody? So let's talk to our guests. Let me introduce our guests.
Did you get Diamond?
I did get Diamond. Yeah, she didn't tell me what she was drinking though. I can't say that again, Diamond. You muted.
Just water, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Diamonds Are Better.
There it is. All right, Mr. Milton, I'm adding you one more time, sir. And you know what? I'm gonna try to start with him if he pops up. Yes. Let's introduce our first guest real quick, Mr. Milton, just in case we lose him real quick. Mr. Milton Williams, class of 1956. How are you today, sir?
Yeah. Good. I'm good. Look like my thing is going in and out, but I'm in now.
Okay, and we can hear you. Thank God. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna get right back to you. Let's introduce Miss Dorothy Piner-Brice.
I want to apologize. My down to 20. I got it hooked up.
No worries.
Yeah, we got you, sir. Let me introduce my next guest, Miss Dorothy Piner-Brice, class of 1969. How are you, Miss Brice?
You're muted, Miss Brice.
You're muted, Miss Brice. Oh, let me unmute you. I'll unmute you. Don't worry. There you go. Miss Brice, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All righty. How are you today?
I'm well, and truly I am well compared to earlier, and it's just so good to be here.
Gotcha. And we really appreciate you being here. Let me also introduce Miss Clarine Teague Johnson. Miss Johnson, how are you today?
I am wonderful until you get my name spelled correctly. It's not T-I-G-G. Anyway, I'm wonderful and highly blessed. How's everyone?
I'm good. You know what? I'm not even gonna put it on your friend. I'll take full blame for it. No problem. So thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. Is Teague, correct?
That is correct.
I'm gonna make sure that I get that changed right now.
Okay.
Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you. What we wanted to do is, so we started a conversation with the president. I'm sure you guys know who she is, Ms. Mary Moore Johnson of the Alumni Association. And we've been working hard with her just on this campaign of bridging the gap. Me and her started it when we talked about, she called me and asked me to do her alumni membership drive. And I was happy to do it, excited to do it. I talked to my team about it. My team was ready, and we pulled it off, and it was beautiful. We wanted to continue on the conversation just because there is a huge divide between our previous generation and our current generation. And I just wanted to help bridge that gap. I wanted to help Mary Moore and her missions of doing that with the Alumni Association. So we wanted to continue on with the conversation. So I was intrigued by one of our panelists, Ms. Diamond Thomas, who is in our current generation. She's one of our current graduates that just graduated from A&M. And, we brought her onto the team, and we just wanted to explore ways and opportunities that we can bridge that gap. So we wanted to start here with our previous generation. When I talked to Ms. Teague Johnson yesterday, she corrected me. I said I misplaced a word, and I didn't say the correct word, which was previous generation. So I got that correct, Ms. Johnson. Thank you very much for correcting me, and I'm happy to have you guys on. So let's talk. We're just going to talk about some of your experiences. Our panelists have some questions to ask, and we'll start with you, Candace Castillo.
Thank you, Sammy. So I have two general questions for you to start off with. One, the makeup. So I graduated in 2005, and the makeup of the university seemed to be Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago, and almost everybody else was from Alabama. When you all were there, and give me your years again so the audience remembers your years. What was the makeup of the university? Was it mostly concentrated in Alabama, students from that area, or was it like all over the United States?
Ms. Brice, you can start.
Okay, as far as I can remember back, it was mainly students from the state of Alabama. We had a sprinkling of students from out of state, mainly New York, Detroit. I remember those states, Chicago, Georgia. We had quite a few from Georgia, but the majority of the students during that time, they were from the state of Alabama. We had students from Africa, just from other different countries, but the makeup, the basic answer to that question, the basic makeup back in 65 through 69, the majority of those students were from the state of Alabama.
And within Alabama, the cities were Mobile and Birmingham. If you were not from Mobile or Birmingham, you were from Lower Peachtree and Pineapple and Ohatchee, all the little country town we never heard of. So Birmingham and Mobile and Huntsville, that was it. And I'm a product of Ohatchee, so check your Alabama map.
I was gonna ask you guys where you're from. Now, Ms. Brice, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Tallahassee, Alabama, and I had classmates that would always say, "Hey, Tallahassee, Tallahassee." I said, "No, Tallahassee." Tallasse. And they still, what in the world is Tallahassee? And I always had to explain to them that Tallahassee was between, to help them to better understand, I would say it's between Montgomery and Tuskegee. Oh, I got it. So I'm originally from Tallahassee, Alabama.
One of my friends from Grayson Hall, he went to Reeltown High School, which is near Tallahassee.
All right. Okay. I know what Reeltown is. Yeah.
Have you heard of Margaret, Alabama?
Where?
Margaret. She said, where?
Oh yeah. Margaret is not that far from where I live now.
That's where my family is from.
Oh man.
Ray, that's where cousin Holly and that's where they are from. So
okay.
Yeah, my
I know
mom.
what it is.
Yeah.
When I worked, I would visit families in the Margaret community.
Oh, okay. All right. And Mr. Milton Williams. So where are you originally from, sir? Brother Williams. All right. We're gonna figure that out with Mr. Williams. Hopefully we'll get him. So Aldo Anderson, go ahead.
So you know, in this day and time, we kind of call it the yard. Where did you guys meet up? Oh, well, my first question was, what are your majors? What were your majors?
I was okay. Someone else want to answer?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Feel free. You guys can jump in whenever you want. There's no organization to this.
Don't tell me that. Please don't.
I'm gonna tell you that, Ms. Johnson. Jump in whenever you're ready.
All right, Ms. Brice, what was your major?
Okay, my major was home economics education.
That's what we've been missing in the Black community.
Right. And my minor was in general science and early childhood education.
Okay. And you, Ms. Johnson? You're muted, Ms. Johnson. You're muted.
Yeah.
Ms.
Let me
Johnson.
unmute you. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
She's muted.
Economics education and child development.
Okay. So what type of activities were you guys doing back then? Not saying back then, that's kind of rude. I'm sorry. What were you guys doing? What was your college days like?
We sat on the block. That was our entertainment. And when we first got there, you know, we had to be in like 7 o'clock. And when you moved up to upperclassmen, it was 8 and 9. But sitting on the block in front of the calf, that was our entertainment. And walking backwards and forth, we couldn't stop walking. The security guard, if you stop too long, they want to know why you stopped.
Wow. That's
Whoa.
What you say? Repeat that, Ms. Brice.
No, I said I couldn't have said it any better.
Oh, okay.
It was just sitting on the block.
We did
That's amazing, because we actually did the same exact things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sit on the block, talk to each
yeah.
other, but we didn't have a curfew though. That was the only thing with us. We were out there.
Oh no, we had a curfew, and if you broke that curfew, you would go see Katie Ligon in a hurry. Security will escort you up there. We had to stick by the curfew.
What's that?
Katie Ligon, she was dean of women, and the first thing they would say, they would give you a comic book and an apple. And I told them I didn't read comic books and I didn't like apples. So that was the thing. They're gonna give you a comic book and an apple if you break the law.
Man.
Now, Ms. Johnson, you sound like you was tough to deal with. Sound like you still tough to deal with.
Dorothy, tell them everybody know me even today. I'm highly respected. Okay.
Connected and respected.
Mr. Williams, can you hear us? Brother Milton, can you hear us? I don't think we got him.
No. Well, I have a question. I'm curious. Okay, so you know, when once you graduated A&M, what type of work did you guys do? And was it related to what you majored in?
Okay. When I graduated from Alabama A&M back then to college, I always wanted, first of all, I wanted to teach, but my ultimate goal was to be with the Alabama Cooperative Extension. I wanted to be what was called back then a county agent, and that was going into the various schools in the community, wherever you work, to teach programs that we were taught in school at A&M. But, and I had that opportunity. I taught 1 year, and then beyond that, I remained with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System, working my way through the different levels. And I finally ended up in this county, St. Clair County, Pell City, Alabama.
What about you, Miss Johnson?
Okay. I started out, I taught 1 year special ed, and I like, no, I can't do this. So at that time, Auburn University had very few Blacks, and they were looking for a Black agent to come to Madison County. And at that time, it was 1970, and my father had passed, and I was out of at home. And when I came back, I never had an interview in my life. Can you believe I have never had an interview? Wow. So they immediately hired me to work in Huntsville. And then before I finished, after 40 years with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System, I left Auburn, went to A&M, and then they combined our program. And I had 22 counties, the 22 North counties. I was district director. And Dorothy's not telling you this, but I was her supervisor. Can you believe that?
Hey, you didn't give me that.
The best supervisor she had.
That's all right.
Oh boy, that's so interesting, because when we were at A&M, we didn't have any idea that it would end up that way, with both of us being an extension, and then eventually Clarine being my supervisor, and we worked well together, and she was a great supervisor.
Great supervisors make the job so easy.
That's right.
Mr. Milton, he literally keeps going in and out. Jeez. So Miss T Johnson, did you pledge at all? I know Miss Brice, you did pledge, correct?
Yes.
Miss Brice, can you turn your camera landscape for us?
Is this better?
You know what? You have the lock on. I'm not even don't even worry about it. It's actually good. Don't worry about it. You're good. Can you let us know? So, AKA Miss Brice, did you pledge?
I'm putting it up for both of us.
Got it. So, were you guys on the same line?
No, I did graduate. During the time that I wanted to pledge at A&M, it was during the time that I had to do student teaching. We could not do student teaching and pledge at the same time. And I was sent to Gaston, Alabama to do my student teaching. So that meant that I could not pledge during that time because of that. And so I said, forget it. I didn't have the money anyway. I would just have to pledge a graduate chapter.
Okay, I pledged grad chapter also because when I sent and asked my dad if I could pledge, and I told him the money, he told me, I sent you up there to get an education, and I don't know what you're talking about anyway. So it was 11 children, and I left the cotton fields and hipping babies to go to A&M.
Wow. And what's crazy is, please don't laugh, guys, but there was no hustles back then, like where you guys could, I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure when you guys got to Huntsville, like when I was there in 1999, there was many hustles and we could find ways to make money. Back then, were there really ways for you guys to really make money? I mean, if you wanted to, let's say, go to the store and buy you something to drink, I mean, could you just go make money somewhere?
How were we gonna go to the store and buy a drink? We didn't have cars. You couldn't even have a car on campus. You guys that was approved for us to ride with, and we could go to Rogersville and get shoes. But you had to have approved drivers in order to leave campus.
Right.
Yes, and they had to be in the record. Am I correct, Dorothy?
You're correct. Else you would have to catch the bus on a Wednesday and ride over to the mall, to the shopping area, to do your shopping. So I had a job on campus working as a dom hostess. I can't remember the exact name, but I worked in the dormitories and was able to save up money, that way to do some of the special things that I wanted to do. But as far as calling home and asking for a large amount of money, I knew not to do it.
There was no way to call home unless I stood up at the president's house and called, and I don't think they could hear me 100 miles. So we did not have a telephone. I worked as a student work study in the Department of Home Economics. So I was in my area. And that was when it was up on the hill at the Black Archives, where the Black Archives are now.
Well, coming from me,
somebody in the
I did work study, and I was getting paid, I think, $9 an hour at work study in 2099 and 2000. So how much were you all getting paid for work study?
$1.60 an hour. I can remember that so well, and that was topping out because it was $1.25. And when I got ready to buy my retirement time, they could not believe that's what we're working for. So $1.25 to that's it. And as far as a hustle to school, that's what we did. We hustled the class.
There you go.
Hey, tell me this, real quick. Somebody asked, this is an interesting question. When did John's open? Was John's open when you guys were down there?
John's what? Down on the corner of Winchester and Meridian now?
Yes.
No, that was Bill's, that was a beer store, and it was a drive-in down there also. It was a drive-in right there where those apartments are now, and it was a beer store there, Bill's Beverage. One of the professors from the campus on the beer store.
Did you guys ever sneak and go get something to drink?
Oh, Lord, no. I would have to answer to Sylvester Teague and Abigail Hobson. Abigail Hobson kept me straight, and Miss Belcher in Palmer Hall. The real Palmer Hall when it was 5 in a room on 3rd floor.
So let me get this clear, Miss Johnson, honestly, and Miss Brice, and you can ask this too. Mr. Williams, can you hear us? Are you here with us, my brother? All right. Miss Johnson, so you didn't do nothing, like you didn't get in a little trouble? Like,
I didn't say that.
No.
I did not say that, okay?
Okay.
Like I said, when I left the cotton fields, I was so happy to get away from my father and all my brothers and sisters. I went totally wild the first semester. And when those grades went home, I got on the Greyhound bus and I beat the mailman to my house because my daddy wasn't expecting any grades. So that taught me a lesson. I was going to be back down there in Ohatchee, or if I bought Grace home like that again. So it was not very well my first semester. But that's why I give every student one semester to find your way and get that wildness out. Because if you want an education, if you truly want an education, you will buckle down and get it.
That's true. That's true. Miss Brice, did you want to touch on that at all? I hate to put you on the spot, but did you? I mean, look. I can remember the first time going to John's getting a steel reserve. Like, I was a freshman in college drinking. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know who bought it. I don't even know. John probably let us all just come in there and buy it. I don't even remember, but. You didn't get in a little trouble, Miss Brice, and go sneak off campus?
I'm sure I did, but see, you got to remember we've been out of school how long, Clarine? 52 years. We graduated in 69.
So this is 52 years. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary. We were the last class to graduate from Alabama A&M College. We were the last class. Okay.
I hear the proudness in your voice, Miss Johnson. I hear the proudness in your voice. I hear you. Congratulations on that, Mr. Milton. I mean, I really want to talk to him, but he's literally going in and out. Right?
Yeah. I'm trying. I'm gonna try and call him on the phone. Maybe we can talk to him via audio.
Let's do it, please. Let's do it, please. We really want to have that conversation with him. So
I got you.
Do that real quick, right? See if you. I would ask him about FaceTime, but that's another. So
we FaceTiming right now. This is called FaceTiming back there. Then we were looking at each other. That was our FaceTime.
I got it. Joe Cross, Diamond.
Yes. I have a question because I know that at the time, Richard Morrison was the president. So I wanted to ask you guys about the president and how he was as a president. How would you describe his work ethic, things that you guys experienced while he was president? And also, especially to you, Ms. Brice, since you graduated in 69, I know that was a year after the assassination of Martin Luther King. So how was that going out into the real world, graduating? And when you were in school, did you participate in any marches? Did you see any marches personally? Did you know anyone who did march? Or were you just solely focused on school? How did you feel in that moment being a student at A&M, knowing that a huge civil rights leader had passed?
First of all, I can just remember just being sad. We were all sad in the dormitory, and wow. I can remember a large crowd of students leaving campus and going downtown Huntsville to participate in a march. Here again, I didn't actually get in the group, but we did do some marching on campus. I participated in that. But the thing was, I can't remember our getting together and having conversations and actually praying about, what had happened. And we were just wanting the Lord to just intercede and to just help smooth things over. During that time, it was a difficult time for us.
Mr. Williams, can you hear us now, sir? We're going to figure this out. I promise you. Ray Wills, you got to unmute yourself.
He's trying to do that, so he's not answering the phone. So I'll keep at it.
If you want, do you want me to remove him real quick and then you just try him real quick? I'm going to do it. Let's do it. Three. Right. So I'm about to, in 3, 2, 1, I'm going to remove him. Go ahead and call him. Hopefully, I'm sorry, guys. We're doing this live, y'all, but we got to get Mr. Williams out. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Cool. Yes. Okay. So, Joe Cross.
First of all, can you guys see me?
Yes.
We can.
This is crazy because I'm looking at my home screen right now, so I can't see anybody. But we'll press on as if I can see everybody.
Okay.
I have a question about Vietnam, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, Vietnam was like what in '68? How did that impact you guys? Like
65 through.
It was 65? 65 through.
66. Yeah, it was autumn years, I believe.
Did that have any impact on you guys at all? Like were, if it was already over by that time, like were veterans coming to college? And if not, if you were caught in that drafting time, like were classmates sent off to Vietnam? Like, did that impact you guys at all?
It did, because some of our classmates were quite a bit older than
Okay, now should I
we were, because they went off to serve our country.
Okay.
Gotcha. Mr. Williams, I'm sorry, you were saying something? All right. I'm sorry, Ms. Teague. Did you want to talk about that?
I missed the last of your question.
Joe Cross. His question was about Vietnam.
Yeah, my question was about, I'm looking now, it was between 55 and 75, 20 years. So my question was, were people like, did you have classmates who were veterans or, people being shipped off to war? Like, how did that impact you guys? Just the Vietnam War. I know that maybe it was even maybe something in the background at that time, but my question was, did it have any impact on you guys? And if so, how?
I was waiting on Dorothy, but I'll go on.
No, you go on.
This is not Claire Reed Teague Johnson's show. But anyway, the Vietnam War, like I say, it was several of the students going off to war and coming back, family members and everything, and coming back disfigured from the war. Ooh. And I think around that time is when they set up the Veteran Affairs on campus, because it was an influx of veterans returning from the war.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Joe, can you ask your question again? I've got Brother Milton on speakerphone so he can hear us, and we'll be able to hear him. We just won't be able to see him. So if you can ask your question again, so he can answer.
Okay. Yes, Miss.
And remember, hold on real quick. Mr. Milton he's the class of 1956. So he was 1 year in once Vietnam started. So Joe Cross, ask the question real quick, and let's see his perspective from when the war first started to the middle of the war when Ms. Brice and Ms. Teague was in.
Okay. My question was, the Vietnam War, how did it affect your college experience? Like, were people coming, like, were you classmates with veterans who had just came back from the war? Were your friends being shipped off to war? Like, what was that like at that time?
Did you hear him, Brother Williams?
Yeah, but could you repeat the question?
Yeah. So what he said was, how did the Vietnam War affect your collegiate experience? He said, did you have friends that were in the war? Did you have classmates that were coming back? Like, how did that affect you guys?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was not in the war, but we had a lot of veterans coming back from the Vietnam War, and we had a veterans club, and there were about 25 students in the veterans club.
Okay.
And a lot of them played on the football team.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
Wow.
So Brother Milton, one of the other questions that we missed you on was, we wanted to know where you're from originally, and what was your major at A&M?
I was originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and my major was mechanic arts. I majored in tailoring and dry cleaning.
Okay. And how did you end up in New York?
Well, during the summers when I was at A&M, I worked in Chicago as a union painter and decorator. My aunt lived in Chicago, and she had a friend who was at 17. No, at 18, she was able to get me into the painters union, and every summer I went to A&M. Every summer I went to Chicago, and that's how I made my tuition.
Okay.
And after that, I came to New York.
Awesome. How long you been in New York, Brother Williams?
For about 57 years.
Oh, so this is home.
That's right.
All right. Hold on one second.
Now that you guys are retired, I'm assuming that you guys are retired, what do you do in your spare time now?
Can you ask that again, Aldo? We couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'm assuming that everyone is retired. What do you do in your spare time now that you're retired?
I do stock trading. I trade stock in the daytime.
Okay. All right.
And you, Ms. Brice?
Mr. Milton getting that bread, believe that.
Ms. Brice, what do you do in your spare time?
Aldo, something's going on with your sound. I'm not sure if you got a plug-in or something, but something is going on with your sound to where we can't really hear you.
Okay, is that with mine?
No, go ahead, Ms. Go ahead, Ms. Brice. You can answer that.
Okay. Let me hear the question again. I'm sorry, I didn't get it all.
He was just asking what do you guys do in your spare time if you're retired? What do you do in your spare time now?
I tell you what, I'm president of our local Alabama A&M alumni chapter. I'm the reporter for my sorority. I do just local ministries with senior citizens in the community. Even though I don't get out as much now, I still do the phone calling. And if it's other little project work that I can do to help out, I'll do that. And I am just enjoying my grandchildren. We have 5 grandchildren, and 2 are in Huntsville and 3 in St. Louis, Missouri. And we FaceTime, we just do all kinds of stuff all the time. And I think that's how my life is fulfilled, just loving on them and just being available to help other people whenever I can.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Somebody wants to know, can we hear your thoughts and interactions with the younger generations? I want to start with you, Ms. Johnson. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, my thoughts. I'm around before COVID. I was on campus so much until everyone know me. Johnson is such a common name. And you said, do you know Miss Johnson? Oh yeah, I know Miss Johnson. So, I'm up there with the students and I stay on them about the paraphernalia. That's my pet peeve. If I see them wearing another university's logo or something like that, it bothers me. And yes, I'm telling you, you will never see me on Alabama A&M University without my maroon and white. My car is maroon and white, and it said go to Alabama A&M. So I keep a shirt in my car if I have to go to the university. So I'm up there with the students at all time, and I love them to death. I love our students, and you know which one you can approach and the ones you can't approach. And I'm in the Bulldog Pride there on campus with Mrs. Hougini, and we have office there in the Night Center. And so just sitting there in that office, interacting with the students as they coming and going, and it's such a pleasure. But I do just about anything I want to do during my retirement. I'm on the City Council Human Relations Board with the city, and I answer all the complaints. When people have complaints against the city, who have to listen to them? So that's what I do in the community. And I love my grandchildren. I have 3. I have 2 that I see every day. I had to quarantine them for a week last week during the snow because of a crazy thing the dad did. So, and I miss seeing my babies. But I see them every day. I teach them how to cook, how to sew, how to raise a garden. So, you know, follow me on Facebook and you'll see some of the things that I'm doing with my grandbabies. Okay?
She said follow us on Facebook. And you know what? With that being said, well, first of all, I want to say you are precious. Both of y'all are extremely precious. But so we can follow you and know exactly what your name is on Facebook, I want you to do me a favor and follow our page, the HBCU CAF. All right. And get on there, the HBCU CAF, follow that. And I'm going to make sure that I follow you, Miss Johnson. Okay. You too, Miss Brice. Are you on Facebook, Miss Brice?
Yes.
And on Twitter, I'm Ohatchinana.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you on Twitter.
All right, she's on Twitter. I had another question for Brother Williams. We asked about pledging earlier before we got you in here. They wanted to know if you're Greek, and if so, did you pledge at A&M?
Yeah, I pledged at A&M. I'm a Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
All right.
Yeah, and after I left A&M, I came to New York and I took a civil service exam and became a construction inspector, and worked my way up to a project manager, construction project manager, with the city of New York, New York City Housing Authority.
Gotcha. How was your pledging experience at A&M?
Oh, not a problem. I just had they wanted me, I was growing a little fuzz, and they wanted me to cut my mustache. And I told them that I couldn't do that. And so they asked me to drink a quart of milk and eat an onion.
What year did you pledge, Brother Milton?
Pardon?
What year did you cross?
1955.
55.
Can you ask him, Ray Wills? I'm not sure if he can hear us, but
he can hear you.
Can you, Mr. Milton? Can you explain that experience, or can you talk about that experience at all in 1955? What it was like, or before that day that you actually did your probate show? Can you talk about those first 2 months, maybe? Can you talk about that at all?
I'm not sure I understood you, but while I was at A&M, I did participate in a program for inventions, and I presented a ship with 2 thrusters and with water coming in the front and going out the back like a jet engine, Yeah, that's what I think I understood you to ask that question, but if not, repeat the question.
I didn't. I really wanted to know about that. Did you guys, or somebody, actually, I wanted to ask Mr. Rob Howes, and then Disa, I'm going to get to your question. Mr. Howell asked earlier about hazing. Did you guys participate in that back then?
Yeah, no hazing. we had paddles, but it was understood that no beating. We didn't hit anybody with the paddles. We threatened them, but we never hit anybody.
I got
not amazing fraternity. Don't try to get that man in trouble.
Alicia Taylor said,
but we never got in trouble.
That's right. That's right.
The chapter was never suspended, for hazing.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead, Candace.
I just had a question for Mr. Williams. The ladies have told us they broke curfew that they would have to talk to Miss Katie Liggins, which I want a picture of her because I have a whole view in my head of what she looked like with that comic book and them apples.
Oh, in the yearbook.
And the yearbook, if you have it, put that picture on Facebook. But Mr. Williams, what would happen with the young men if they broke curfew?
I'm going to have to apologize because I probably need a hearing aid, but I don't have one.
No worries. I'll repeat the question for you.
I didn't quite understand the question.
No worries. We're going through a couple of different devices, so I'll repeat the question. She said, what would happen to young men if they broke curfew on the Hill during your time? What would happen?
Oh, the men were not punished. They could leave the campus at any time. And there was no curfew at night. You didn't have to be in at a certain time.
Wait. Hold on, Mr. Williams. So the women had a curfew, but the men did not. Is that clear?
Yes.
Wow.
Outrage.
So
women had to be in Hurt Hall and I remember Hurt Hall, and I can't think of, but all of the women dormitories on the west side of the campus, they had to be in by a certain time,
and y'all could just roam free.
Well, I got a quick follow-up question to that goes with what our other guest said earlier. Did you have a work-study job? And at the time, what did you make?
Could you hear the question? Did I have a work job?
A work-study
job.
And what did it pay?
Oh, yeah. As a first year, as a freshman, I worked in the cafeteria. I was an assistant to Mr. Prentice to cook.
Wow.
I used to fry a crate of eggs, 50 dozen eggs every morning. That was my job.
Oh, wow.
Eggs over white, not white, but not eggs not over. I learned to crack an egg with one hand, and and put it in the grease pan, and I did 50 dozen eggs a day.
Wow. Do you remember what that job paid?
Oh, God, off the top of my head, I think it was $30 a month.
$30 a month is what he said. Yeah,
$1 a day.
Mm-hmm.
$1 a day, average about
Yeah,
$1.
I see what you did for kids.
You see why?
Just know that you're toxic.
I barber shop at Walker Wood Hall, and I worked for Mr. Deshay, who had the canteen. I used to drive the car over to Huntsville and pick up his stuff from the wholesale house and bring it back to the canteen.
All right.
This is amazing.
See, Joe Cross saw what I did. I just wanted to make sure we saw that. So he was making.
No, it was no unfair pay.
It was.
He got paid $1 a day, Candace.
10 years before they were getting paid $1.60.
Assume there was no inflation.
So Miss Johnson, when you guys were there 10 years later, can the guys leave campus then?
Yes, like I said, the guys could go. We were the one that was in bondage. We were in
Wow.
bondage. We couldn't. I'm telling you, and it was a stopping point. The guys could only walk so far. They could walk it right there where they turned to go to Buchanan Hall, where Buchanan was. That was a turning around point. So you had to turn around. So you could tell if a guy really loved you, because that's the coldest spot on A&M campus. And if he came around that corner and walked you on to Palmer Hall, and if Mr. McCray, the security guard, didn't see you, you know.
Oh wow, wow! I have a question. I have a question I've been wanting to ask for so long. Okay, so I'm second generation A&M. My mother and my father met at A&M. Got married, had kids, and they would always talk about ghost stories at A&M. And I was wondering, was that stuff like, were those myths around when you guys were in school? Like, I don't know. It's a lot of stories. Some girl, I guess, hung herself. Some people say a lot of different things. But even when I got there in '99, we during orientation, we were out looking for the ghosts or whatever. I just want to know, was that around when you guys were there?
What was the folklore?
Yeah, what was the thank you, Ray, for summing that up for me. What was the folklore at A&M at that time?
Oh man.
Anybody want to take that?
I was in Palmer Hall, and like I said, Palmer was the oldest dorm on campus. And, it was a room that was closed up, that was always locked. And they were saying some girl hung herself, and you can hear her walking and all of that, But that was on third floor of Palmer Hall. But I don't know why it was locked. It was just locked.
Now tell me this, Ms. Johnson, I do want to ask this. My twin sister, when she went to A&M first semester of 1999, then she ended up leaving to go to Michigan State University. She stayed in Palmer. I do know the new Palmer. I want to ask about this rivalry between the old Palmer and the new Palmer, because I know a lot of people, when they talk about Palmer Hall, definitely, especially if they stayed in the old Palmer, they speak highly of Palmer Hall. What was Palmer Hall when you were there?
Okay, Palmer Hall, I lived in Palmer, like I said, on the third floor, and it was 5 of us in a room. There were 2 bunk beds and a single, and we would rotate every week, to get that the single bed, keep from getting it on the bunk bed. So it was 5 of us in a room, and so we had suite mates, as they call it now. So it was 5 of us. Dorothy, you were in Big Pen, right? Buchanan, you were in Buchanan.
But see, I lived in Buchanan, in Buchanan Hall, and then Thomas Hall. I stayed in Thomas Hall my junior and senior year. And so it looked like, I'm almost sure I stayed in Palmer Hall maybe during the summer, a semester. But I'm trying to think of some of the stories, and vaguely I can remember hearing about some strange stories, but they're not clear enough for me to try and repeat them now.
Gotcha.
Brother William, what dorm did you stay in?
Yep.
I stayed in Great Hall as a freshman.
Hold on.
And Walker Wood Hall opened up my sophomore year, and I stayed the rest of the time at Walker Wood Hall.
So
3 years at Walker Wood Hall and 1 year at Grayson.
All right, I stayed in Grayson, and Sammy stayed in Walker Wood.
No, I
Steve. Okay,
yeah, never Walker Wood, Steven.
You had this is Milton. You had Browder, Dean Browder was at Grayson Hall, and Dean Bray was at Walker Wood.
Did you play sports, Brother Williams?
No.
Okay, all right.
No. No. What Mr. Williams, what did you do in your spare time when you were not in class?
I worked. I was a barber in Walkerwood Hall, and I was a janitor for the men's let's see, what was that? For the faculty dormitory down near the old ball field. That dormitory right down below the ball field, the first football field.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's
right behind Grayson Hall. There was a faculty dormitory back there, and that's I used to clean the toilets and the floors in the dormitory back there, and I would work as a barber in Walkerwood Hall, and in the mornings I would drive over to Huntsville. Mr. Gachet, who ran the canteen, had an automobile that he gave me to drive over to the wholesale house to pick up the supplies and bring back. So that's what I did in my spare time. I worked. I had to.
You had a lot of jobs.
Now tell me this. There is, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a cemetery in the back there, correct?
There's a what?
There's a cemetery back behind there, correct?
Yes, further down, yes. Further down, I think it's called Chase Road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Got it.
Well,
and you had the farmers had a chicken, the ag people had a chicken farm just below that.
All right.
Got it. Go ahead, Diamond. I'm sorry.
I want to ask you guys, do you remember your torch lighting ceremony?
Wow, good question.
What ceremony was that?
You guys remember your torch lighting ceremony?
Oh yeah.
Or did you have one?
I didn't have one. I'm not.
We had one. Mm-hmm.
Brother Williams said he didn't have one.
We had one, and let me tell you something else. We had to go to church, okay? We had to go to Be of Grave every Sunday to church. Wow. That was mandatory, that we had to go to church.
Yeah, this is Williams. I went to church every Sunday, Be of Grave, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I'm just curious. One spot in Huntsville, well, I guess cars weren't a thing back then, but there used to be the infamous mountains in Huntsville. That's also part of A&M lore, if you will, where couples would go and date and that type of thing. Like, was that a thing when you guys were in school?
Montesano Mountain. Did y'all ever go up there?
No, I didn't. Williams didn't.
Brother Williams said he didn't go up there.
What were we going up there for? Because it was daytime, we couldn't go at night. Like I said, if it was a lover's lane, we couldn't go at night, so we had to go in broad open daylight and do what we had to do, I guess.
Yeah, forgive me.
I have a question about cost of tuition back then. Do you guys remember about how much it cost to go to A&M when you were there?
One bale of cotton. That's how much it was. And Mr. Patton, you ain't got no money. You ain't got no money. You got more darn mouth. I said, let me tell you one thing. When my daddy get the first bale of cotton out, you gonna get your money. So
1954, it was $1,200 a year.
Wow.
You said
room and board and tuition. That was everything.
Wow, Miss Johnson.
Except the books.
Except the books.
Yeah, Miss Johnson. When you said a bale of cotton, I started looking around like, are you being facetious?
I'm not. not. Like I said, we were farmers, okay?
Wow.
Ohatchee, Alabama, biggest little town in Alabama. But yes, we were farmers, and the first bale of cotton, Dad would take it to the gin and get the money and send the money to A&M. That's why I was saying a bale of cotton, you know.
Gotcha.
So
how
that's
much
what it was, and it was $500, and anywhere from $500 to $600 per bale, and then the rest of it I worked it off as a work study student because we really didn't get money because, like I said, we were work study.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So
wow,
if it was financial aid, we should have really gotten it with 11 children. If it was financial aid, nobody told me about it. What about you, Dorothy? Did you get financial aid? We worked.
Wow.
Brother Milton, did you have any financial aid? Was that a thing then? Or was it just...
No financial aid.
But was it a thing, or you just
I
didn't
don't
have
think it was. That was in the 50s. I don't even think financial aid probably came around until like the 70s. I wonder.
I didn't know anything about financial aid. Nobody ever mentioned that to me.
Right.
And I paid my way.
Gotcha.
That's what I said. Nobody told us.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even want them to go to school back then. So
Right.
sure, they didn't even offer financial aid to, you know.
The first year of financial aid was 1965.
Yeah. Okay. So that was.
So let me ask
you guys were funny.
I'm sorry, Sammy.
Go ahead, Joe.
Let me ask you this: like, does it make you guys feel any kind of way that, in those days, you had to work so hard and try so hard, and education was so important, and today to just see people just taking it for granted, like it's no big deal at all, like, does that make you frustrated, especially amongst us Black people, just to see that, that there's no stock in education? Does that make you guys feel any kind of way, knowing how hard you had to work and the sacrifices you had to make to get your degrees?
You know, this is Williams. My parents never finished high school, and but they instilled to me, go to school, go to school, go to school. Because if you don't go to school, you're going to get a job that's hard to do, you know, and you won't live long.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And you took heed to that, huh? He said, I took heed to it.
Yep.
What about you, Ms. Johnson? Same question, Ms. Brice.
In our alumni chapter, we are forever trying to recruit good students to mentor and to prepare them to attend Alabama A&M. And we're still having problems getting students to completely fill out applications to submit. And we spend time going over 1, 2, 3. Do this, do this, do that. Make sure you read. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And I can remember back when I was in high school, I was so wanting to go to college until I sat down, I took the time, I read everything, and then I got one of my teachers to go back over the information to be sure that I had what I needed to have. And I guess because I was so hungry for wanting an education, until today, I get frustrated with some of the students because to me, some don't have the interest that I would, and I hate to say but that I would like to see them have. Because here again, even in 2021, education is still important.
Yeah.
It is still important that we put some energy into whatever we're doing to succeed. And we're still working, trying to get students to understand, that you got to put some work into preparing yourself to go to college. I would like for all students, good students, to attend Alabama A&M. But at the end of the day, I want students to go to school to further their education. I can go on and on because I get so excited about the idea of trying to help young people. But here again, to answer that question.
That's what I do now. I have, this is Williams. I have two grand nieces in college now. One in California, one is, excuse me, Los Angeles, California, and one here in Staten Island, New York.
Okay.
My home economics teacher took me under her wings because I felt like it was a better life than the life that, you know, out in the country and in the cotton fields. And my home economics teacher saw something in me, and she contacted her former roommate that went to Tuskegee and told her, I'm sending your student up there and I want you to look out for her. And that's what happened. Today, the students come to school. I think the parents send the kids away. I don't know, but they're just not prepared the way we were. We were hungry. We were hungry for education. And we knew that in school, it was a better life. It was a better life than staying at home. And I reached back and got my sisters, you know, and they came to A&M and everything. So it's sad that the children are not preparing themselves for a greater future. Then, you know, they take it for granted. They really take it for granted. And, you know, I have students that come and live with me. I think they think that it's Tig Hotel, because when students don't have anywhere to live, they're calling me. Well, Miss Johnson, do you have any room? Do you have any room? And I'm busy with these students, and I follow these students. I've had Miss Alabama A&M in my house. I've had all kinds of students in my house. I was a foster parent. I follow my foster children. So, you know, just to stay a part of these students' life. And that's what I like, because I reach out to them and I follow them. And if they need anything, they know they can call Miss Johnson, you know. And I'm there to help them if they need a book, they need somewhere to stay, they need some food or whatever. So, but the children, they get away, and they think it's funny. They don't try to excel in some instances, you know. And it hurts me to see it when I'm on campus. And like I said, you can see some of the students who you see have potentials.
So we have two questions. We have two questions from the audience. So they want to know what led to your decision to attend A&M, and what A&M traditions do you enjoy that you hope to continue?
So let's start with Mr. Johnson first, and then Ms. Brice, and then or Mr. Williams, Ms. Brice, and then Ms. Johnson.
Brother Williams, did you hear the question? What led to your decision to go to A&M?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I'll start it off. When I had a cousin, Walter Durant, who made the dean's list. When he first went to A&M, and his picture was on the A&M bulletin. And my father somehow got a copy of that bulletin and showed it to me. And I say, oh boy, I got a cousin who was a good student at A&M. I want to go. Yeah. All right. Now that was during the time when Clyde Foster was there as a student, you know, Walter Durant and Clyde Foster.
I know brother Foster. That's my good frat brother.
Yeah.
This boy got excited. Boy, that's my good guy, bro. Oh boy. He can't tell nothing about his frat. And then also, Mr. Williams, what A&M traditions did he enjoy that he hoped to continue, or that you hope to continue?
Did you hear that, Brother Williams?
Repeat that, please. What?
He said, were there any A&M traditions that you enjoyed that you'd like to see continue?
Well, you know, when I was at A&M, one of the things that I noticed was the physics lab downstairs, down under the hill, rather. The physics lab was always locked. Now, you had a physics teacher, Dr. Bass, in 1955, 1954, 55, and but one of the things that I noticed is that I wondered why nobody was taking physics, and now you got a PhD program at A&M in physics, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see that tradition continue.
Ms. Brice, same question, and then Ms. Johnson. So what were some traditions?
When I was in high school, my music teacher taught us music, and we had a choir, an outstanding choir, and Alabama A&M had some kind of program where choirs from all over the state would go to A&M to compete. And so our choir entered, and we went to A&M. And when I walked on that campus, it was something about it that drew me to Alabama A&M. And from that trip, I came back, and over 3/4 of my teachers were A&M alums, and they were just classy, just good people. And I always said, "Oh, I want to be like Miss So and so and so." And when I grow up, I want to be able to dress like this teacher. I want to be able to do all kind of things like this teacher. And so I had teachers to start mentoring me in high school to help prepare me to attend Alabama A&M. And people in the community say, "Well, you're just right here close to Montgomery. Why don't you go to Alabama State? Why don't you go to Tuskegee?" But my mind early on was made up. I wanted to go to Alabama A&M, and I had some people to say, "Oh, because it's the furthest distance from your home." I said, "Well, that could be part of my reason, but it was just something about the atmosphere back then that attracted me." And what was the second part to that?
Are there any traditions that you enjoyed that you want to see continue?
Let's see. I don't know if they still do this or not. I love the tradition of having all of the homecoming activities. We used to have the what you call it? The bonfire. Kyrene, can you remember?
We had the bonfire down on the tennis court for homecoming.
Yeah. But that was a tradition that after that Friday night, they would have a lot of activities going on, a dance, and then at a certain time they would have the big bonfire, and you would go out, and it would be cold, but still you were pumping yourself up for the homecoming game, and the students would all come out. But I think today, because there's so much going on campus, I'm not sure if they still have that activity going on. I don't hear anything about it. And I don't even remember hearing our
It's
daughters
dust
talk about
done
it.
now. I think they call it dust done.
Dust done. Yeah.
What'd you say, Brother Williams?
I like the Greek step shows, you know, when the fraternities and sororities come out on the campus and with the pledgees, you know, and they have the pledgees walking around doing various activities.
Well, that's illegal now. We can't have the pledgees come out.
Oh no.
So, yeah, I thought you said y'all didn't. Okay, never mind, Ms. Hey, look. Yeah, okay. Real quick. Well, go ahead, Joe Cross. I'm sorry.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
I want to know, Mr. Williams, you know, while you guys were, strutting and stepping, what was the song at the time that you guys were stepping to, or just anybody in general? What was the songs on campus at that time? Like that you just lit the whole.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't remember.
What about you, Miss Johnson and Miss Brice? What was everybody playing at that time on the radio or whatever?
Let's see. I remember Otis Redding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a Clarence Carter lady.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, Clarence Carter, Aretha Franklin.
Respect. Respect.
Detroit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you all didn't get me.
We about
orientation to get is something that I would think that they should continue at Alabama A&M University. During freshman orientation, we learned the history of Alabama A&M University.
Yeah.
And it was a requirement. It was a requirement, and you really learn the history. And I'm a past president of the alumni chapter, and I started at all of the basketball games. How well do you know Alabama A&M University? And I asked these questions, and the students would get Subway gift cards and Kroger's gift cards, Walmart gift cards. So they couldn't Google it, and they would have to try to see how well do you know A&M, because these kids know nothing about the history of Alabama A&M University.
Yo,
No.
Miss Johnson, you are going to love me. Okay. Ray Wills, you already know. Issa, Rachetta Wilkerson, Mary Moore, if you guys are in here, please jump in this chat. Ms. Johnson, we actually are working on bringing Operation Jumpstart back to campus. So when
you all call it Jump Start, we call it freshman orientation.
I can't do nothing right, Ms. Johnson.
Well, it depends on.
It's the wrong word. But look, Ms. Johnson, what I want to do is, can I bring you involved in that process? Again, Mary Moore, the National Alumni Association president, myself, Disa Jones, one of my classmates, my big sister, as well as we're going to tap in Rachetta Wilkerson, who linked me with Ms. Brice. Thank you, Rachetta. And Ms. Brice linked me to you, Ms. Johnson. If we can bring you on in that process, I really would like you to be involved in that.
You check my schedule and you give me some dates, and I will cross-check, and so that I won't have any conflicts. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I really appreciate you. Candace, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I actually didn't have anything. I was just enjoying the conversation.
Awesome. Ray Wills?
Brother Williams, what you got on your schedule tomorrow? Let's do lunch. I'll be up in Harlem. I'll be working out about 11, so I'll be done about 12 or 1. So let's do lunch tomorrow.
All right.
Did you say Williams?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I live in Midtown, so I can come up to Harlem tomorrow.
Well, give me a call. Give me a call. Yeah.
Okay, I will for sure.
Okay.
All right.
So, well, I really appreciate this conversation. I really appreciate you guys joining us today. This has been amazing, well anticipated, much anticipated. Ms. Brice, I really, really, really appreciate you answering my call. You know, and now we're connected, and I look forward to working with you, Mr. Williams, and Ms. Johnson. So I really appreciate you, Ms. Brice. Any final? Actually, real quick, Richetta Wilkerson. She did ask me. I'm glad you just popped up. What would you do for our students to who love and support A&M like, or who to love and support A&M like you do? Let's start with you, Ms. Johnson, Mr. Williams, and then close with Ms. Brice.
Okay.
Freshman orientation would make them love Alabama A&M University, because if they know the history, then they would learn to love the university. They really would. That's the key.
I agree. If they learned and knew everything that I learned in Operation Jumpstart, I agree. You will be a diehard A&M fan. So, Mr. Williams.
All right, go ahead. Did you hear the question, Brother Williams?
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, the camaraderie. A lot of my schoolmates I was in contact with for a long time. Of course, a lot of them are passed on now, but oh boy, I can't think of the word. But to get together from time to time and talk about the football games, the basketball games, who the good players were in the basketball team, and the good players on the football team, and who was the school queen? Who was the school queen when we were there? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, you know, the restaurants are not open here in New York now, so.
They're open at 25% capacity, so we got to find somewhere we can go.
Okay, all right.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Don't go nowhere yet.
He gonna go. Miss Brice, or actually Miss Johnson. What would you do for our students to love and support A&M like they do?
Well, I told you that, you know, Mrs. Brice, get freshman orientation back. That's what they need to know the history of the university.
Gotcha. And Ms. Brice?
And you know what? I think that's so important. I just think that once they can feel, understand, and know about the history of Alabama A&M, they can go out there and promote Alabama A&M University and just try to always promote Alabama A&M, because when we do that, people will see that we truly love our university, and we'll do whatever we can do to help our university. And if our students can have a genuine love for A&M and have a true understanding, I think that our Alumni Association will expand and just get larger and larger year after year.
I agree. This was such an amazing conversation. I did put this up real quick. Demetria Glenn, did you guys go to Magic City Classic back then? Mr. Williams, Ms. Johnson, and Ms. Brice, same order.
Oh yeah. The Magic City Classic is something that I used to go to every year. You know, until maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I went every year.
Awesome. Ms. Johnson?
Pretty much the only way you could go to the Magic City Classic was to go home and go from home to the Magic City Classic. I don't even know how we get from campus, but I had relatives that lived in the Birmingham area. So, I can't remember missing a Magic City Classic. This will be the first one. The one in April will be the first Magic City Classic that I can remember missing.
Wow.
And my schedule was pretty much the same. I can remember our leaving home, and it would start sleeting or snowing or whatever, and we would almost be in Birmingham and say, this is just not going to work, and we would turn around. And I think out of all of the years that I've been out of A&M, we probably have missed two Magic City Classics. We are strong supporters, and that's it. The bottom line, we're strong supporters.
Amazing.
Amazing conversation. I wish we could keep this going on. Mr. Williams, throughout the technical difficulties that we were having, we really appreciate you jumping on the phone with your brother Ray Wills, and figuring this out and having this conversation. So I really, really appreciate you, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Brice. Ms. Brice, it's been a great 3 weeks getting to know you. We are connected. Your daughter is a great friend of mine when we were in school, Heather Brice. I love Heather. Me and her were good friends. Tell her I said hello, like I told you. And I would love to, catch up with her very soon. I want to invite you guys, Mr. Williams, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Brice, to the tailgate that the HBF is doing in collaboration with the Alumni Association. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, Sammy, before we close, I would just personally like to thank Miss Tig, Miss Clarine Johnson for accepting to come on tonight. I had some health issues and really wasn't sure whether or not I would be able to be on, but because she's the kind of person that she is, she agreed. I did not have to twist her arm, and I thank her so much, and I thank you all so much for inviting me, for inviting us. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
The pleasure was all mine. And a public service announcement: if you have not purchased a paver on the quad, please go and purchase a paver and leave your legacy on the quad. It's for scholarships for our students. How many, by show of hands, who have a paver on the quad?
We got a paver.
Dorothy, I don't see your hand. You got about 3 or 4 or 5 out there, you and your grandchildren. The ones, the hands is and looking down at the camera.
Actually, we were working on one, I'm sure. So we were working on one, and I'll say it, the all class and the AAMU all class reunion group. Myself and I got with Ray and Disa and Quentin. We were working on one. I'm no longer affiliated with that group, so maybe if they're hearing this now, get a paver for that group. But for the HBCU CAV, we will have one. Also, I started an organization called Michigan's Finest when we were there, so I'll be purchasing one for Michigan's Finest, which is I don't think no longer Diamond. She's from Detroit. I don't think they're big on campus anymore, but we're still going to have one for the time that we were there. And for Alabama A&M versus everybody, we will have a paver on there by homecoming. So we'll have 3, Miss Johnson.
I will be looking forward to seeing your name. If not, I will call.
Yep.
Love it.
Trust me, I know you will. I know you will. Final thoughts, Joe Cross.
This has been awesome. I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming in, but I just learned so much. I have so much respect for you guys. It's so much wisdom here on this panel, and I just love to soak it up like a sponge. And I just thank you all. You guys are beautiful, And you know, I'm just so much more proud just to be affiliated with A&M, and that's it. I love, you know, live long and prosper.
Amen, my
Great.
brother. Man, Joe Cross. Final thoughts, Diamond Time.
This has been amazing, and I really count it an honor and a privilege to talk to you guys, Miss Brice, Miss Johnson, Mr. Williams. I'm gonna hit you up, Miss Johnson. Y'all, Miss Johnson souls. She got plates, she got bags, she got blankets. So hit her up. And I just really appreciate you guys taking out the time to talk to us and tell us your experiences. And I hope that we can bring you guys on again.
Checks in the mail for your free advertising.
Yeah. This is Milton. I was at A&M with Clyde Foster and Dr. Ernest Knight, you know? So that was the time that I was at A&M, and I enjoyed my relationship with each of those people.
And by the way, we did. I know a lot of people expected Dr. Knight to be on tonight. He was confirmed, but because of health issues, he wasn't able to make it on. So we salute you, Dr. Knight, and we pray that you get well and better and feeling stronger. Candace Castillo, final thoughts.
Thank you all for being on the show tonight. It was really informative, and it got me thinking about somebody. So when I came to A&M, I met for the first time somebody who would become my brother, Darren Richburg, and he was lucky enough to have a mom and a grandfather that went to A&M, who took me everywhere and gave us a lot of this history. So it makes me nostalgic, and it's also his 40th birthday. So happy birthday, John Darren Richburg. And it makes me miss his grandparents, who also were Bulldogs.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Ray Williams, final thoughts, sir.
Madam Brice, Madam Johnson, I just wanted to thank you ladies for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Mr. Williams, my New York brother, thank you so much for staying on the phone with me this long. I know we had some technical difficulties, but we worked it out. You guys' insight has been amazing. You know, just to reinstill that pride in the Hill, I think was very, very important, you know, to have this conversation with you guys. So I'm super appreciative that we were able to be on with you guys tonight. And so I hope you all have a great evening, and hope that you guys can watch the show going forward. So we'll send you the links every week so you can see it.
Cool.
Okay, good.
And Ray Williams, you want to talk about what you're wearing, my brother?
Alabama A&M versus everybody. It's a collaboration we did with Detroit versus everybody. It's available at thehillversuseverybody.com. If you haven't checked it out, please do. We also have the dorm collection that's available there as well. That's aamudorms.com. Check them out.
And Aldo had that on. Salute to you, Aldo. Diamond, thank you for next week's episode. We will be talking to Ayanna Ingram, SGA president. So we're going to continue on with this Bridge the Gap. Now, we started with the previous generation. Now we're going to go to the current. Ayanna Ingram, SGA president, criminal justice. And we look forward to talking to her, as well as our brother, Diamond's Diamond's brother and friend. What's his name?
Chris Newell.
Chris Newell. Okay, Mr. Chris Newell, who I guess was in the band, majored in music education at MMW. So, Diamond, I really appreciate you hooking that up. I'm excited to talk to them as we continue on with Bridging the Gap and the Bridge the Gap campaign. So, real quick before we get out of here, I'm excited to within 2 days, Ray Wills, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead. 2 days.
So
2 days.
So Sandy and I, we wanted to start a community to bridge HBCUs together on Facebook. In 2 days, we reached 1,000 members. So I just wanted to thank everybody that joined the HBCU CAF. It's been an awesome couple of days. 1,000 members in 2 days is huge. So I just wanted to thank everybody that has joined the community. But please continue to invite your friends from other HBCUs. It's really A&M heavy right now, which is amazing. But we want to make sure that we open the doors to other HBCUs as well. So if you have friends that went to other universities, please invite them in.
Please do. Hey guys, with that being said, Diamond, take us out with a toast, please, my sister.
I wasn't expecting the toast, but the shout. All right, so here's some more shows with you guys. Here's to a long life. Here's some more wisdom and happiness. And I just thank you guys again for being on the show. And let's keep doing this and bridging the gap.
Let's bridge the gap. Hey guys, congratulations, HBCU CAF. Invite those HBCUs. We got a lot in store for you guys. Have a good night. Let's talk about it. Week 33.